Hi everyone, welcome. So before we start, I'll give you a little bit of time if you need to get some props. We're gonna need, once again, just a folded up blanket or towel, kind of like this, folded up once or twice, like a little pad. And you may also need, if you have a yoga block at home, it can come in useful. If you don't have a yoga block, just grab maybe a cushion, a couch pillow, 2 or 3 pillows. We'll need it for one pose and you'll be kind of grateful that you have it. So I'll give you a little bit of time to go get that stuff. And today we're going to be working on a sequence dedicated to our digestive flow. So working on our stomach, small intestine, large intestine. And I know we usually start off with a meditation. Today we're going to start in a child's pose. So once you have all your props, go ahead and set yourself up. Big toes touching, knees as wide as you need or want them to be. Now we'll be here for a couple of minutes. So if you feel like this is gonna make your feet fall asleep or it's not the best comfortable position, give yourself some height. Separate your feet, add a few pillows underneath your bum and between your feet and sit back down on them, giving yourself some height. You can stretch your arms forward. Start by coming down onto your forearms first. We'll take a few breaths right here. Take a nice long inhale. Fill your whole body up with breath. And go ahead and exhale out of your mouth. Let something go and release. And do that one more time. Une longue inspiration juste ici. Remplissez tout le corps, le dos, le côté de votre souffle. Expirez puis relâchez par la bouche. Puis venez vous installer dans la position de l'enfant ici. Vous avez l'option d'allonger les bras vers l'avant, déposer la tête au sol. Si c'est un petit peu trop loin pour vous, vous pouvez attraper la couverture pliée que vous avez, déposer la tête dessus. Ou bien stack your hands, make fists, stack your fists. Just make sure your head is just resting on something comfortably and not really kind of reaching for the floor. Bring the ground towards you. Let your belly hang in between your thighs and see if you can keep your heels towards your bum. And with your eyes closed, start to just arrive and settle into your practice. Let your head get a bit heavier. Feel your thighs soften and relax your toes. And go ahead and start stretching and getting rid of any kind of tension that's in your face. Open your mouth really, really wide. Stick out your tongue. Move your jaw from side to side. Relâchez de la tension dans votre visage. Ouvrez grand les yeux. Bougez la mâchoire de gauche à droite. Baillez. And then when you feel like you've had enough and got rid of all the tension in your face, go ahead and settle in and start taking some really deep breaths. And as usual, we'll be spending about 3, 4, sometimes 5 minutes in the poses in today's class. So the essential part is just to keep your breath nice and slow and full. Inhaling, breathing in fully all the way to the top, filling up your whole body with breath. And then exhaling out of your nose and exhaling all the way to empty until you feel that tiny clench in your belly. And you repeat that cycle. En essayant de vous concentrer sur juste les cycles de respiration longues, complètes, ralenties. C'est tout que vous avez besoin de faire aujourd'hui. Let your belly hang in between your thighs so your breath can
becomes so much more obvious for you as you feel your belly press against your thighs on the inhale, and then move away from your thighs on the exhale. Ça peut faire du bien de simplement rouler sur le front de gauche à droite, comme si vous vous donnez un petit massage. And then when you're ready, find some stillness and commit to your breath.
In Yin, we work a lot with our meridians, and today we'll be working with meridians including stomach, small, large intestines. And in Chinese medicine, there's a deep understanding that most illnesses come from the gut, the belly. So today we'll twist to detox and forward fold to compress and release anything that can make us feel a little bit icky. It's mental or physical. Encore 3 bonnes respirations. Suivez le cycle jusqu'au top et jusqu'à la fin. And place your hands down onto the ground, a little bit closer towards your knees. And very slowly press yourself up into a tabletop. Dans la position de la table, prenez votre temps. And then once you get up into tabletop, move in whichever way you feel that you need to move. Maybe you need to release one leg back at a time. Move your heels around, tap your feet. Ça peut être des cercles avec vos hanches. Arquez, arrondissez le dos. Sans trop y penser, allez-y, puis bougez comme vous le sentez. And syncing your deep breaths with the way you move. And very slowly, almost like a pendulum, bring yourself into stillness. Take your time. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Let's just find stillness for about 1 breath, maybe 2. Follow your inhale all the way to the top. Fill your lungs with breath. And then exhale all the way to empty. Feel your belly clench. Next time you breathe in, come into a cow spine. Start arcing your lower back. Push your heart up and look up. Think of bringing the back of your head towards your bum. And now exhale, belly comes in, shoulders round, head drops. Une autre fois, juste comme ça. Inspirez, arquez le dos. Bougez en même temps que vous inspirez. Expirez, arrondissez, relâchez la tête. Puis ramenez-vous vers un dos neutre. If we come into digestive system, we'll do 1 marma point, that kind of acupressure that we do to release a little bit of pain, not really pain, intense sensation, but it won't be too long. You're going to take the top of your right foot and place it inside the arch of your left foot. Donc le dessus du pied droit à l'intérieur du pied gauche. Reculer and come back and sit down onto your heels. It should be quite an intense sensation. So if you don't feel that, move your heel around and try to feel it. Rest your hands down onto your thighs. Eyes opened or closed. Relax your face. Release your tongue and jaw. And take some slow, deep breaths. Now this is a very intense sensation. And so your initial body reaction is going to be to stop breathing or maybe make that breath a little bit longer. Let an exhale out of the mouth and come back to a nice soft inhale. And a complete exhale. Soften the rest of your body so your nervous system starts to understand that it's okay. You don't need to run away. Almost there. About 20 more seconds. Now very slowly, without jumping out of this pose, go ahead and bring yourself back into your tabletop mindfully. Unhook the feet. Place your feet onto the floor and just take a moment to notice how that feels and where you feel it. Maybe let an exhale out of the mouth. Puis on va répéter la même chose de l'autre côté. Cette fois-ci, vous allez placer le dessus de votre pied gauche à l'intérieur de l'arche du pied droit. So flip your feet. Reculez, asseyez-vous sur les talons, puis assurez-vous d'avoir cette sensation forte, comme un petit peu un pincement assez intense. Une fois que vous l'avez, relaxez les épaules, respirez profondément. On va chercher spécifiquement ces points marmants ici avec la digestion parce que les deux, au bas du pied, dans l'arche du pied, on a les lignes, les méridiennes pour le petit, le grand intestin, aussi la digestion. Des fois, faire ceci, ça peut guérir ou faire du bien à un mal de ventre. Presque là. Continuez à respirer profondément. Rappelez à votre système nerveux que c'est le moment de relaxer, même si la sensation est forte. Tranquillement, délicatement, revenez vers l'avant dans votre position de table. Décroisez vos pieds. Puis prenez un petit instant ici. Ressentez l'effet rebond. All right, you can go ahead and release your tabletop, and I'm going to meet you standing on your little pad that you created. So if you have it, you grab a towel or a blanket, make a little pad like this with it. Place it onto your yoga mat and stand with your knees onto your little pad, just like this. If you have blocks or blocks, you can have them not too far away. You may need them, but they're not necessary. Standing up nice and tall. Take a nice long inhale and shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Let it out of your mouth. Exhale and release your shoulders down. Let's take a step forward with the right foot to the front of your mat. We're coming into a dragon's pose. It may be a little bit more comfortable to come onto the top of your thigh or the beginning of your knee so you can curl your back toe. Just make sure that you're not kind of like on the knee, that you're a little bit lowered onto the top part of your knee, the end of your thigh. In yin, you don't necessarily have to have your knee over the ankle. If it's a little bit forward, and that's okay if a stretch for you, you can leave it like that. Let's start in a tall dragon, right hand onto the thigh, left hand on top. Push that right foot down, and without moving it, pull the heel back. And you'll feel your left hip come forward. The same thing, try to bring your awareness into that back foot, that left foot, and push it into the ground. Solidify it there. And with a little bit of pressure onto your thighs, see if you can grow your spine tall. And the stretch happens in different areas of your legs, so see if you can just focus on where it's intense and breathe deeply. Send your breath there. The right option now to bring both of your hands on the inside of your right foot. Maybe that gives you a little bit more leeway to bring the right knee forward. Relaxing the ears, the shoulders far away from the ears, almost like you feel the crown of your head moving forward. And if it's in your practice and you want to go all the way down onto your elbows or bring your forearms onto blocks or books, you can do that. Right hand's going to come onto your right thigh, wherever you are. You can leave your left forearm on the ground or your left hand. And take a breath in just to extend your spine forward. Get nice and long. And then exhale, twist towards your right thigh. Twisted dragon. You can roll onto the outside of the right foot. It can feel quite nice. Just make sure that your left elbow isn't hyperextended. Find an opening where you get a nice, good sensation. And you can still breathe slowly and softly. Keep that alive. Five more breaths. All right, if you were rolled onto that right foot, just bring it all the way down to the floor. Both hands on the inside of your right foot and bring yourself back into a tabletop. And I'm going to give you the option. You can stay in tabletop for your transition or curl your toes and press yourself back up into downward facing dog, yin style. Pedal your feet out, shake your head out. Bring your knees back down onto your little pad. Back to standing up, nice and tall. Prenez une inspiration, soulevez vos épaules vers les oreilles. Relâchez par la bouche, puis descendez les épaules. All right, le côté gauche maintenant. Prenez un pas vers l'avant avec votre pied gauche. Placez vos mains à l'intérieur du pied gauche, puis on va faire la même chose de l'autre côté, comme vous retroussez l'orteil du pied droit. Mais dans le fond, l'idée, c'est de ne pas être directement sur le genou, mais vers la fin de la cuisse, le début du genou. Vous allez sentir la différence en l'étirement de la hanche droite. Venez placer la main gauche sur la cuisse, la main droite par-dessus. Plantez le pied gauche au sol, puis sans bouger le talon, tirez-le vers l'arrière. Pied droit fermement poussé dans le sol. Allongez la colonne. Vous pouvez toujours avancer le genou un petit peu plus vers l'avant si ça ne cause pas de pincement ou d'étirement trop intense. Ce n'est pas une erreur d'avoir le genou par-dessus le talon, devant le talon, pardon. Un tout petit peu plus d'effort dans cette pose ici. Quasiment, ça ressemble à une position de yang. Mais voyez comment vous pouvez ralentir, relaxer vous-même les muscles dans votre corps. Relâchez une expiration par la bouche. Détendez la mâchoire. Cette option de descendre les mains à l'intérieur du pied gauche. Ça se peut que les mains, c'est assez pour vous. Bien, si vous voulez, descendez sur les avant-bras. Utilisez de l'aide de bloc ou de livre, si c'est le cas. Pour la dernière partie de la pose, on va finir dans un twist. Donc, l'avant-bras droit, la main droite peut rester au sol. La main gauche à l'intérieur de votre cuisse gauche. Prenez une inspiration pour simplement allonger la couronne vers l'avant. Et lorsque vous expirez, twist vers la gauche. Vous pouvez rouler sur l'extérieur du pied gauche pour un peu faciliter le mouvement. Relaxez vos hanches. Gardez un petit pli dans le coude droit. Respirez au profond de votre ventre. Sortez tranquillement de votre twist, puis déposez le pied gauche au sol. Si vous avez roulé les deux mains à l'intérieur du pied gauche, ramenez-vous dans une table tranquillement, doucement. Toujours avec l'option de rester dans la table ou bien retrousser vos orteils, monter dans un chien à tête baissée. Votre choix. Restez immobile ou bougez. Comme d'habitude, vous savez souvent ce que vous avez besoin. C'est dans ces moments-là que vous faites ce que vous pensez. Ne cherchez pas trop de conseils, qu'on vous dise quoi faire. All right. Tranquillement descendez sur vos genoux. And for the next pose, we'll be sitting onto our pad. So this may be perfect height for you. We're going into dragonfly. I know I need a little bit more height, so I'll fold it in half. In dragonfly, it's our legs opening up towards 10 and 2. All right, so having that little lift with your blanket will just help you bring your pelvis forward. Oftentimes in poses, our pelvis is like a bowl, and we want that bowl full of soup or tea or a margarita, whatever you want, to not fall over. So think of your pelvis being as a bowl. If your back is arched, it falls forward. If your back is rounded, it falls out. Having a lift will help you get a nice straight pelvis. And if you feel like your feet are flopping out, it's just your body telling you that you've gone a little bit too far from what your bones can handle. So go ahead and bring them in. If you're good here and you love this pose and you know that this is right for you, you can stay right here. If you feel like there's a lot of rounding and you're not comfortable, bend the legs. If it's still too much, you bend the legs and place the feet on the floor. In this next pose, what we're going to hold, we'll be working on the meridian. That's for the stomach. So either variation, you're going to hit that meridian. Go ahead and start up nice and tall. Ajustez comme vous avez besoin. C'est jamais une erreur de commencer d'une façon puis de finir d'une autre. Place your hands on either sides of your hips, a little bit behind you, and just take a few shoulder rolls. Maybe turn your ankles and point and flex your toes. Reach the arms in front of you as if you were holding onto a block or a ball. And press your bum into your prop or into your mat and grow your spine up towards the sky. And from here, you can release the hands onto the ground and start to spider crawl your fingers where they'll let you go. Take your time. You have a good 4 minutes in this pose. Use the kind of the yin theme to explore. Your edge is never really obvious, right? It's a question of exploring and observing your body. You may feel good right here for 2 minutes. And your next 2 minutes can be totally different. Essayez de garder les épaules loin des oreilles, de plus viser avec le cœur qui plonge vers le centre, plus que votre menton. You can play around with how different things feel in this pose when you bring your big toes towards the inside, more of an internal rotation. What does that do? How does it feel? Maybe bring the eyes into the back of your head and observe and see if you can feel if your spine is rounded. Peut-être vous travaillez un peu avec des pulsations lorsque vous inspirez, vous vous allongez. Puis votre expiration vous aide à plonger, peut-être millimètre par millimètre. Toutes des petites affaires qu'on fait pendant une pause pour nous aider à rester présents, à continuellement observer notre corps, ce qui nous fait du bien, où sont nos limites, et ainsi de suite. So you're about halfway through the pose now. If you want to try and check if you can spider crawl your fingers a little bit further. If it works for you, awesome. If you need to back off, then you can go ahead. And now let your head fall heavy. And breathe into your back. And to come out of this pose, we're going to try to do it without using our spine, with using the weight of our hands pressing into the ground to walk ourselves back up to a nice straight spine. And once you're up, be gentle with your head. Take your hands behind you on either sides of your hips. Roll what you need to roll, point and flex, puff your chest out, shrug your shoulders and take an inhale. And let it go out of your mouth. All right. With the help of your hands, bend your legs with your feet on the floor. And walk your feet in towards you so you can give yourself a little squeeze. We'll do a little stump pose. Stump pose, the idea is bringing your bum towards your heels or your heels towards your bum, kind of rolling yourself up in a little ball. Push your feet into the ground and nice tall spine here. Maybe you roll back a bit onto your bum and sit bones and try to lift your toes, try to float. And let it go. And slide your feet forward, open up the knees, palms of the feet together. You can still sit onto your little pad for butterfly. We'll do it passive, so do that nice diamond shape. Send your feet forward. And just start sitting up nice and tall, and let's bring awareness into the body. Bring awareness into your thighs and feel your thighs. Now relax them. Soft. And bring your sensation, your awareness into the outsides of your hips, sides of your hips. Soften, relax, almost like you feel a doof. And if you can't feel that, squeeze your hips and then release them, let them go. Soften your toes and shoulders. Bring yourself into a forward fold. It'll be a passive one. You can hold on to the ankles if you want. I'll give you the option of bringing your forearms underneath your calves. Round your head, your back, and drop your head. And if it's too much, you come back up a bit. Sometimes such a simple pose can give you big sensation when you come into it differently, or you bring awareness into certain parts of your body where you're convinced they're relaxed or not active. When you start to observe, you feel the contrary. Relâchez tout, même la tête, relâchez-la. Imaginez la couronne de la tête qui pointe vers le sol. Et puis, tout ce que vous sentez qui vous cause du stress ou de la tension, puisqu'on travaille sur le ventre et le système digestif, imaginez une forme de détox.
Try not to forget those nice, long, luxurious breaths all the way to the top and all the way to empty. Si vous êtes allé ailleurs, ramenez-vous au moment présent. Ramenez-vous à l'intérieur de votre corps, aux sensations que vous avez. Où vous sentez cette pause? À quel endroit? À quelle intensité? Five more breaths. At the end of your next exhale, bring the hands inside of your legs, chin into chest, push your hands into the ground and roll yourself up nice and slow. Walk your hands back to help you straighten the spine. Head comes up last. And take a moment or two, let the blood flow back down. Hands on either side of your hips behind you. Extend the legs forward. Slow. Bougez si vous voulez bouger. Pointez, fléchissez, faites le bacon. Comme vous voulez. And let's slide onto our bellies. I'll meet you in a Sphinx pose. You can move your little pad to the side. So sliding onto your belly, maybe shake your hips from side to side until you settle into something comfortable. Legs a little bit wider than hip width apart. Top of the feet can be onto the ground, or if it's more comfortable for you to curl your toes, then curl your toes. Whatever you prefer. Let's start just holding on to either sides of the elbows, digging the elbows into the ground and trying to grow the crown of the head up to the sky, shoulders back. And see if you can feel the whole front part of your body kind of slowly opening up and stretching. And don't force anything, just kind of leave your body the way it is. And see if you can feel that from your belly button all the way up to your throat. Nice, soft, subtle opening. And then when you're ready, you can Reach the forearms forward onto the ground, fingertips onto the ground. With a little bit of weight in your fingertips, press them into the ground. And without moving your hands, just pull your hands towards you to help you reach that heart forward. All right, we'll be in Sphinx, we'll stay here, but we're gonna stretch our thighs at the same time. So we're gonna start with the right side. You're gonna bend the right leg and try to grab onto your ankle, foot, or just your pant leg. And slowly guide that heel, towards your right side. Left hand, left side of the body is a little bit active here. And if it's too much, then you can go down onto your head and rest there. And the stomach line, the meridian stomach line travels all through the front of the body. And so we're stretching the belly and the chest and Sphinx, and then giving our thighs a little bit of love right here. Moving at whatever pace you would like, bringing the ankle or that heel or ankle closer and closer to your right bum cheek. But you can still breathe a full breath. Anytime that you can't fully breathe in or fully breathe out, it's just your body telling you that you went a bit too far and it can't concentrate on breathing anymore because it has to concentrate on helping you hold that pose you put yourself into. Three more breaths. And start by releasing that right leg slowly back onto the ground. Right arm comes back into Sphinx. Open the elbows up, stack the hands. Rest your head onto your hands and relax your whole body. And feel your right side compared to your left. Puis ramenez-vous sur les coudes, attrapez les coudes opposés. Ramenez-vous dans votre sphinx. Prenez votre temps, ajustez les jambes au besoin. Lorsque vous êtes prêt et prête, allongez les bras vers l'avant. Un petit moment pour retrouver le sphinx. Les épaules relaxent. Si jamais c'est un peu trop, plus que vous avancez les coudes vers l'avant, moins d'intensité qu'il y a dans la pause. Fait que vous pouvez vous donner un petit break comme ça. Et cette fois-ci, on a retiré la cuisse gauche, donc en pressant le côté droit de votre corps au sol un tout petit peu plus, pas trop. Pliez la jambe gauche, attrapez la cheville, le pied ou peut-être juste votre pantalon. Ça peut être bien en masse comme ça. Tranquillement rapprochez le talon vers le fessier gauche. L'étirement dans la cuisse gauche peut être super satisfaisant, vraiment quelque chose qui relâche. Voyez si vous pouvez relaxer encore plus la cuisse gauche. Tout doux. Comme ça, lorsque vous étirez, vous rentrez profondément dans vos tissus conjonctifs. peut-être même au niveau des os. Relaxez. Respirez profondément. Relâchez la cheville gauche, déposez tranquillement la jambe gauche au sol. Revenez dans votre sphinx un instant. Puis tout doucement, ouvrez les coudes, placez une main par-dessus l'autre, relaxez votre tête sur les mains. Relaxez votre corps. And very mindfully and including your transition always as a part of your yin practice without interrupting too much the way you're feeling right now. See if you can slowly bring yourself onto your back. When you come onto your back, and take a little bit of a moment right here, and then if you need to move to grab your props, go ahead and grab them. You're gonna need your blocks, or if you don't have any blocks, you're gonna need those few pillows that you have or those few stacked blankets. I'll give you time to go ahead and get all that stuff. If you already have it, just lying down with your feet onto the ground, push into your feet and readjust your hips. Push into your head, readjust your shoulders. We'll take a little bit of time right here just to feel how nice it is to have the ground do all of the work, holding you up. Laissez l'arrière de votre corps fondre vers le tapis. Ramenez une main sur le ventre, une main sur le corps. Faites simplement suivre le rythme de votre souffle, sans rien y changer. Juste remarquez comment il est en ce moment. If you feel maybe like your breath has slowed down or maybe gotten a tiny bit deeper, maybe you notice no change at all, and that's okay too. All right, to really open up that whole frontal chain of the body, we're gonna do an elevated bridge. Option to have one block or two blocks under your sacrum. And the idea is if you have a bunch of pillows too, it's all good. You can stack as many as you want. If you're in your moon cycle, all you need to do is just make sure that you're not elevating too high. You want everything to flow down. Placing your feet onto the floor, lift your hips up. Grab whatever props you have. Donc, soit les blocs, soit les oreillers. Vous allez placer ça au niveau du sacrum. So not your lower back, not your bum, that bony part in the middle of your back. That's where you want the blocks, or your books, or your pillows, whatever you have as a prop. And then once you have your blocks, or whatever props placed there, go ahead and place your hands on either side of your body. Push into your head and try to bring your shoulder blades a little bit together towards one another. No need to have any activation in your feet or fingers. Keep your eyes towards the ceiling or simply close them. And let the whole front part of your body start to open up. C'est sûr qu'on twist, puis on fait des forward folds, on se plie vers l'avant pour décompresser, pour compresser, pour detox. Mais il y a toujours une partie de notre pratique où est-ce qu'on veut chercher de l'ouverture pour être prêt à recevoir, pour ouvrir le devant du corps autant qu'on ouvre l'arrière. Surtout pour venir nourrir une fois qu'on a fini de débloquer. Relax your whole body, let the heaviness of your body fall into your prop, and breathe softly, and breathe deep. And don't worry if you feel like you don't have your hips elevated enough. It's less about the height in this pose and more about just finding an opening for your whole frontal body and not having to use your muscles or the strength of your body to hold yourself up, to let yourself be heavy onto the ground and onto your prop, and let the opening happen by itself. To come out of the pose, you're going to push your feet into the ground. Lift your hips up. Move your props out of the way and push them to the side. Come down vertebra by vertebra, slowly. Once you're completely on the ground, open your feet up about hip width apart. Let the knees knock in, as wide as your mat, and let your knees knock in towards one another. Feel the effect of the pose. Go ahead and turn slowly onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a few breaths right here. Keep your chin into your chest. And with the help of one hand, take your time, keep your head heavy, sit yourself back up, bring yourself up. Tranquillement, redressez-vous, gardez la tête lourde. Venez vous asseoir, peut-être les jambes croisées. Be gentle with our heads and take a few breaths right here. Let's commit to about 5 rounds of really deep breathing. Bring yourself back to that inhale all the way to the top. Travel the breath from the belly to your throat. And then exhaling, letting all the breath come out till the end. And stomach clenches. About 5 rounds just like that. All right, when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and bring your legs into that butterfly position just to help you transition to the next pose. You won't need your little pad for this one. So knees are wide, feet are together. Go ahead and take your left leg and just bring it on top of your right. You end up like this. Grab onto your left leg. Bring that left foot beside the left hip. Knee faces forward. Right foot inside of the left leg, setting up for deer. You may feel a little bit wobbly. Maybe one bum cheek is on the ground, the other's lifted. It's normal. We're kind of a little bit crooked, but we'll set the hips up just a tiny bit. Both hands on your knees. You're gonna lightly pull on the left knee, just a little bit, like 10%. And 10% press the right knee down. And just a bit. Right hand comes behind you, right fingertips can be on the ground, on the block, or maybe on your blanket. Left hand is gonna come onto the outside or on top of your right leg. Take a breath in, extend your spine. And breath out, start to twist your belly towards the right. Trying to keep your knees and hips facing forward and your upper body twists. And we're here for a little bit, so see if you can make the twist an evolution. Moving bit by bit, taking a few breaths where you are and maybe going a bit deeper as time goes on. And try to bring attention to slouching or rounding those eyes in the back of your head once again. And just so you twist around a straight spine, and that's where you're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, that detoxing, that kind of compressing, getting rid of all the gunk. And then option, if you want, you can have your hands onto the outside of your right hip and maybe you come onto forearms, maybe you stay on your hands. If you feel like you're having the hands on the ground, it's kind of like making you feel like you're doing a plank. Release a little bit. Try to make sure the sensation you're getting is more of a stretch, an opening, rather than kind of muscle strengthening. And slowly bring yourself back to center, unwind. Give yourself a moment for the rest of your body to undo from the twist. Eyes opened or closed, soft breathing. All right, come out. You're gonna hold on to that left leg, bring it back on top of your right, and then open yourself back up into butterfly. Readjust if you need to, move around if you need to. Et on va se préparer pour le prochain côté. Vous allez prendre l'extérieur du genou droit, ramener la jambe droite par-dessus la gauche. Attrapez la cheville gauche, placez la cheville gauche à côté de la hanche gauche. Hanche droite. Je recommence. Attrapez la cheville droite, placez-la à côté de la hanche droite, le genou vers l'avant, le pied gauche à l'intérieur de la cuisse droite. Attrapez vos deux genoux, puis avec une force à peu près de 10%, légèrement pressez le genou gauche vers le sol, légèrement amenez le genou droit vers le haut, juste pour équilibrer un tout petit peu les hanches. La main gauche va venir à l'arrière, la main droite n'importe où sur votre cuisse gauche. Prenez une inspiration pour vous aider à allonger le torse. Sentez le dos long, la colonne allongée. Expirez, commencez à retrouver votre twist petit à petit, en votre propre temps. Observez les différentes sensations que vous avez pendant que vous twistez. Rappelez-vous de votre respiration profonde, essayez de l'amener au bas du ventre, au niveau de l'ombril, le nombril au plus bas. Encore ici, l'option, vous pouvez rester avec soulevé, ou bien si vous voulez amener les deux mains vers le sol ou les avant-bras vers le sol. Vous assurez que vous n'êtes pas en train de travailler les muscles, que vous êtes confortable. Si vous êtes allé loin vers le sol, ramenez-vous un tout petit peu plus vers le haut. Et tout doucement, sans presse, défaites votre twist, revenez vers le centre. Prenez quelques respirations ici. Et pour sortir de la pause, allez attraper le genou droit, placez-le par-dessus le gauche. Ouvrez à nouveau vos jambes dans le papillon. Prenez 2 respirations, ça peut être confortable ici pour vous. Allongez les pieds vers l'avant si ce n'est pas confort. Puis à l'aide de vos mains, ramenez vos genoux un vers l'autre. Vous pouvez attraper en dessous des cuisses ou par-dessus les genoux. Donnez-vous un petit squeeze, laissez la tête déposée vers les genoux. Et puis allongez-vous sur votre tapis, votre Shavasana. Les jambes c'est large que le tapis. Go ahead and lengthen your body down onto the ground for Shavasana. But I lied, there is another pose before. So just lie down, readjust as you need, readjust your feet and readjust your shoulders. Take a nice long inhale through the nose and let it out of your mouth. Maybe stick your tongue out. Bend your legs, place your feet onto the ground. Let's do a little happy baby. Bring the knees towards into your chest. And lift your head and reach forward as if you were going to grab a ball, but grab onto either the outsides of your feet, your ankles, your knees, your thighs, whatever's available. Kick your feet up towards the sky. Bring your head and shoulders back down onto the ground. If your head and shoulders aren't on the ground, then just slide your hands up your legs, somewhere you can grab. You can have head and shoulders onto the ground. And this is a compression pose. Even though we're on the ground, we're compressing here. So without moving your feet, imagine wanting to push them up towards the sky and pull your knees down towards the ground. Toes point towards your shoulders. And I'll give you the option right here. You can either stay still or you can roll from side to side. Maybe extending one leg or then the other or both. And release your feet or your legs. Give yourself one last squeeze. Roll up into a ball. Hug your knees into your chest. And let's all breathe in right here together. Exhale out of the mouth and release your legs. For Shavasana. And choose a comfortable position. Adjust your feet and your legs as you need. And then like we started, go ahead and start to release any kind of tension in your face. Stick your tongue out, move your jaw from side to side. Peut-être vous relâchez un bâillement. Serrez les joues. And then, just relax. Relax. Relâchez le contrôle de votre respiration. Relâchez l'observation de votre corps. simplement relaxer. I invite you all to take all the time that you need in this final resting pose. When you are ready to come out, chill out in a fetal position for a few breaths, and then bring yourself up to a seat and follow maybe 5 more deep breaths there. And then go on with the rest of your day or the rest of your evening. I hope this digestive flow did a lot of good. Have a wonderful rest of your week, rest of your evening. Thanks for watching. Namaste, everyone.